Hey everybody, RGBs here. I have been busy. I'm actually doing a little fly-through mode here because I think it's just a little easier to get an overview of what I've been doing to my village, I guess you'd say, and the mill itself. I have been busy mining, landscaping. I'm pretty much using up all the resources that I've been getting so far. If you actually look, as you know, you'll see pretty soon, I've got my village unlocked. All of the villager doors are open. They're able to come out. I've got this whole place lit up, and it's doing really well. Here, let me adjust the microphone. All right. You know, it's good. I've got everything lit. You know, I've maximized my torch usage, which is good. I got some vines set up, flattened everything out, got my roof on. There we go. Kind of formalized this little open area. I've even, been doing a little work with light sensors. I have the bones of an industrial furnace set up. I don't really bother running it yet because I don't have that much to smelt left. I've just been using my regular downstairs smelter for that, which has been, been pretty effective. But today we are actually moving. The mill, for all intents and purposes, is basically done. The infrastructure is in place. I've got the structure itself. I can continue to grow things, smelt things, use it as a workshop. I've got plenty of, food supplies going. My villagers are good if I need to trade. I don't need to continue just, hammering away on the mill here. I can actually go ahead and work on a build over in another area. Now, there's an island not far from here, just that way over that rise. It's a fairly large island, and I've always thought, gee, I would love to go in and actually make that, a town, like a proper town or a proper base, something like that. So I'm going to actually just go over there on a little field trip and just cultivate the area, I guess you could say. So let me just kind of empty out my inventory. I've got a couple of just junk items here I'm going to get rid of, except, of course, for my stone. I'll just dump my leather in there because I don't care about it. Put all this in our handy dandy trash compactor. Now, it's not far away. It really is not far away. However, I don't want to spend all of my time running back and forth overland, so I went ahead and set up another portal system just for that. It's not far. It's ridiculously close, actually. But I want to make sure that everything that I might need here back at my base is accessible, or at least at the mill. This isn't really going to be my long-term base. This is just a structure to kind of get me going, a place where I can make resources and then build a proper base somewhere else, as I've always been saying. So, that being said, we're pretty much ready to go into the Nether, over to our new work zone. But there is one more thing. I actually have to build a bed. So I'll need to make a little room in my inventory really quick. Just drop tools in here. Won't need these. Gonna get some wool now. To keep with my RGB theme, I've got my RG and B colored wool. I'm gonna make myself an RGB bed. So that's just a fun little treat. Now I've got a bed up top in the mill, and that is still my primary bed. But I do want to not have to worry too much about, where I'm gonna rest my head, or if I have to go through a spawn point to get all the way back there. It's kind of annoying, and it's kind of close, so I want my bed to be a little bit closer for all intents and purposes. So, alright, looks good. And alright. Now, I do have a horse, and I'm going to use the horse, but I put him in here just for you know, safekeeping for now. I'm actually going to have to make a barn so I can kind of get the horse in and out of my mill and slash base a little bit easier than I can right now. Right now it's a little problematic to do so. So I just figured I'd keep him safe in a hole in the nether, if you can call that safe. Alright. Alright, and here we are. Now, if you look, that's the rock formation that you could kind of just see over the hill. And there's the mill itself. So it's really, really not that far. I'm just extremely lazy and didn't want to go that far. Now, this island is huge. Comparatively, I think it's like two or three, maybe 4 times the size of my village. And I decided that I'm going to largely, this is going to sound crazy, knock down pretty much all the trees. At least down to their stumps, just so I can get a good general idea of what I want to do with the place. So the first thing I need to do is actually drop most of my stuff off in chests. Right. Now I'm expecting to get a ton of wood from all this. So it's going to be quite an expansive operation. I am anticipating that this is going to take some time. Probably want those arrows with me for now. Grab the extra torches, and we'll probably put down our bed right there, right here. Just light this area up. And I think we'll get to chopping our trees. So I'm trying to leave all of the stumps as much as I can, and that might seem a little strange, but I really like the natural placement, the natural look that Minecraft has for a lot of things, and so I'm very keen to keep the locations of where all these trees spawned as much as possible. That being, you know, my overall preference, if I can help it. Obviously, trees grow different at different rates, but if I want to go through and reforest this area, I do want to be able to do that. Oh, see right there, totally forgot. Old habits die hard. So, all right. It has been a little while since I've actually recorded another video. I know I actually put out a good number of these. You know, for as long as I've been recording, I've actually been very productive in terms of how many videos I've been putting out, and that's good. But it's not all that consistent, and I'm not putting them out at any particular rate. Or trying to do like one a week. I just do as many as I can and call that good. And that seems to work out pretty good for me. You know, so you tend to get a good amount of bang for your buck, I guess you could say. For anyone who actually watches this, you know, later, I should say. I don't have a ton of people watching right now, and that's okay. I'm kind of more doing this just to keep an eye on how I work, like seeing what my process is. I think it's kind of fun being able to watch the development of these, and you know, rather than store most of these videos on my computer, I'm just storing them on YouTube. So pretty much the way that my process works is I will, you know, shoot the video, do any editing of the video, add any tags, and then the video just goes away from my hard drive. I don't spend it. I don't really leave it on there. I don't burn backup discs or anything like that. Not worrying about that type of thing. It's just not something I want to deal with. So rather than keep it on my own hard drives, it's on YouTube. And that's actually why I spend any amount of time that I do branding the videos, or even just kind of talking about what I'm doing while I'm working. It's not necessarily because I think people are watching. I mean, if people end up watching, great. I'm not really expecting any kind of ad revenue off this. I mean, that's really not how YouTube works. But it's public, you know, and I could set it as private, but that seems like an awful lot of work to go through. And I enjoy watching YouTube videos, so this is largely just for me. And anybody else who might stumble across these. I'm not too worried about, you know, how many subscribers I have. I'm going to encourage people to like and subscribe if they like, because, I don't know, a little social connection across the internet's a good thing. But again, not a huge deal. Not a huge deal. So, ooh. Alright. Man, oh man. Knocking down all these trees is going to take forever. I suppose, if I wanted to, I could just set fire to the entire forest and be done with it, because I'm not hugely concerned about wood. I've got as much wood as I could possibly want back at the mill, and obviously with my spruce tree setup and sequence that you know, I kind of got going back at the mill, I could have as many of these things as I want. I mean, you know, I'm not hurting for wood. Even the wood that I brought with me is like a fraction of the wood that I have, so wood's not a problem. But I'm kind of just going to build this thing in stages, I think. I'm not going to chop down all the trees at once. I'm probably going to clear off this hill, make some kind of portal structure that just kind of says, hey, this is my portal building. This is where we go to the nether. So I'll probably theme it something nether-ish and call that good. So let's see. I'll just chop you. I wonder how many axes I'm gonna burn out here. Should probably keep track of that. Jeepers. All right. All right. Okay. And it's nighttime, so I think I'll just go ahead and sleep that away. And obviously, I jump back and forth between spectator mode there. Not bothering to hide that. I said that in like video 1. I'm gonna go ahead and use codes when I want, just to kind of look around. No big deal. No big deal. No shame there. Alright. Okay. We'll clear you away. Of course, it occurs to me, looking at this, by the time I'm done with this place, this just seemed like a, straight out of the Lorax with all the tree stumps. These are my truffula trees. No. All right. Do. I guess while I'm doing this, I want to point out really why I'm clearing the trees. I find a lot of inspiration in the way that Minecraft generates the landscape. You just kind of get ideas as far as like what you could put there and where you want stairs and how you want to access an area, just based on the landscape alone. And so for me, the trees get in my way, and in the way of my ability to actually figure out what the lay of the land is. I can't see past the trees, so I just kind of get rid of them. they're, you know, replaceable. I can always regrow trees, no big deal. They're not going to look terribly different. I mean, they're not going to grow the exact same way. Minecraft's a bit too random for that. But what they are going to do is it'll still look natural even if I chop them down and regrow them. So that's no big deal. So let's see. Chomp, 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 chomp. Now, why did I pick this particular area? This is actually almost exactly an island. This particular area is large, spacious, hilly, has a little bit of biome variation, but most importantly, with just a little bit of work, I'll be able to separate this area from the mainland, which means that I can completely light this area. Now, lighting the area means that I can control, what's spawning here and what's not, which means that I can have this be a friendly mob spawning area only, which is very appealing for me right now. I just got my mill area in the village, mill town if you will, all set up to only ever spawn friendly mobs, if at all, if any mobs at all, and that's good. And I want that for this whole area. This is the scale that I like to work on. This is interesting. This is stuff happening. Plenty of room, plenty of space to do what you will. So if you look, this island goes out to just where those trees are there, and see where that mountain is, but it's just a huge amount of space. So I think as we approach getting this place done, yes, maybe we'll take a quick walk around the perimeter of this island. I think that would be a good idea. Alright. Alright. Doing good. Pop, pop, pop. I think let's do these 3 more trees and then we'll go ahead and take that walk. Alright. Yeah. Alright, so let's take a look here. Obviously we've got the mill just over there. And so this will be the edge. And I think I'm probably going to build some kind of bridge here. I hate diagonal bridges, so I'll probably do a long tall bridge running across from that edge to that edge and leave this as kind of an underpass area. But let's see, let's go this way. So it just kind of, I think of this place as almost like a star, really. It just kind of, or an amoeba maybe, I guess you could say. But it goes around just to the south. Right here, we're running along that southern extremity. You see how nice this is? We've got little resources here and there. Ooh, I haven't done that in a while. I should probably get back on my enchanting. I've got all the enchanted stuff that I really need. I need to get a better enchanted shovel than I have right now, because that's currently just a regular old diamond shovel. So we got to make that a little bit better if we can. Yep. See right here? Right here? This is just one of those areas. So I'll go through and see about fixing that up. Fix the water here later. Alright, fight that current. Alright, come on, come on. Alright. So we're moving along the side here. Now we're on the opposite side of the bank, so there's our island. Areas like this, I'm probably going to do like a retaining wall midway through there and just keep this little ledge here, almost like a curtain wall. I think that will look probably the best. Now I know what you're thinking, hey, you know, you started the episode in fly around mode, and I could totally go back flying around if I wanted to, but I really don't. I mean, it's kind of a slippery slope when you spend a lot of time in you know, creative mode or otherwise. It's not good. Not good to get stuck in that habit, because once you're in that habit, you just stay in there. You do a whole bunch of work that's just like, you shouldn't be doing it, you know? Like, it's not right, it's cheating a little bit, and, you know, after a while, it's like, no big deal, I've done it before, I'll do it again. This is a little lagoon area that it opens into, right? So you might think that that's a river or something like that, but it actually just keeps on arcing around the corner here. Right. Goes out here to the north, little peninsula. Right, so now we're on the north side. This little area right here. Boop, 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 boop. Got a little cave action. Cave action. Listen to me. Right. Come down here. Ooh, lava. Forgot about that. Yeah, they burned down some trees here, if I recall, when I was looking out here before. Looking good. I think I may flatten out this area so it's a little easier to walk around just from like the get-go. So we'll probably smooth this so that I'm not dealing with so much zigzagging back and forth. That's one of the things I hate about Minecraft, to be honest. Like, the blockiness is fun and everything, especially to build with, but man, when you want a diagonal line, you are just in a world of hurt. Yep, right here. Right. We'll just fill that later. And we're getting towards the bottom. See, there's that starting rock face again. So we cut into a deep, deep alcove right here. And looks like another cave. Got my shovel out. I'm gonna shovel y'all. Yeah, should be fun. Ugh, and it's getting towards night, and here I am out in the middle of nowhere. Let's hurry and get this squared away. Yes. Ooh, cows. Alright. Almost there. Bounce, 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 bounce. And here we are back at the beginning. So you can kind of see that it's a nice area. You know, we've got some caves. Really great area just to kind of build and make something that's kind of nice and self-contained. I think that's one of the reasons I like it so much, is it's just got this sense of, I don't know, presence or something. So I think just to make this easy, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start putting torches on trees, because the trees are densely packed enough where I doubt I'm going to have a ton of issues with you know, gaps too much, and it'll be a fun little look. I think won't get carried away. I'm not gonna bother putting one right next to the other one. All right, and yeah, that looks pretty good. We are cruising. All right, so we'll probably do one more day before we wrap up. Just more chopping wood. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll plan this a little bit. Yeah, that seems like fun. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to plan out our portal building. Now, I'm just going to go through, knock these out for now. Right. I like the idea of a round building. I've been experimenting with more round things. Round structures that I've been building with in Minecraft. I am not afraid of them anymore because they aggravate me less and less. I've been able to make, you know, round look good as far as I'm concerned. So not too worried there. So I feel like with this, I want to do a dome, kind of like what I have in my other series. Just a little bit shorter, not as big, not as tall, not as grand, but something definitely along those lines. So let's see. Let's go get my stone. Break out my stone. Let's just put our wood back up there. Get all of our stone down here, our saplings. Right. Okay. So this is here. I want to measure out 2 from here, right? Because I want this thing to be round and symmetrical from these edges. So I'll just put those in there as placeholders. And this thing is not all that wide. So say 1, 2, 3, 4. How many was that? 8 and 8. Alright, 8 by 8 it is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Not bad. Alright, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Is that 8? That's 8. Alright, so we'll just connect these up from the edges here. We'll do this side. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. That's 8. And we'll do what? 5 off. 1, 2. So that's 2 on each side. 2. Now this, honestly, out of everything, really takes me back the most. I started working with computers back when there was just like 1 pixel color. You know, people know me. I've said this before. You know, my first pixel was green. So I've been making circles and bitmaps forever. I mean, MS Paint back when it was in DOS. That was my program. That was the one that I used. I knew it backwards to front, and I could do some pretty awesome things with it. You know, I could really make that program dance. When Windows came out, I mean, that was like, whoa. Color, really? That was just fantastic. I can't even tell you how much that really changed things for me as a young and budding artist. Back in the day, was it maybe 95, give or take, maybe. It just changed the way that I looked at computers. It just changed the way that I looked at everything. I was just like, holy cow, you can be awesome with a computer. But you know, the funny part was, and I'm totally going down memory lane here, you couldn't just make those colors. You know, it's not like, you know, today where you have a color picker that you can use. You had to literally steal them from other images. Anything else was just kind of blending images together. That didn't really count. Like, they were blending colors together with like a checker pattern. It really wasn't very effective at all. And so, you know, I would go find images on, you know, from games and other sources and all over the computer, and then make quite literally force it to like grab, you know, images or colors out of there with the eyedropper, or use the marquee tool to actually get out the color that I wanted. It was archaic, absolutely archaic. But you know, that's what I had to do if I wanted to get the colors that I wanted. That was necessary. So you know, for me, that was part of my progression as an artist, was along with the technology. The technology couldn't do what I wanted. Finally, when I got into, what was it, Paint Shop Pro, I had all the colors I could want, and that was great. And you know, and then eventually I found like an old version of Photoshop and started to work with that, and that was great. But it wasn't perfect. You know, it had its problems, and it was annoying to work with. I didn't like it at first, and what I ended up doing was, I'm just like, okay, I know Photoshop is this big program, and I can't use it worth a darn. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to uninstall every other image editing program I can, and start working with Photoshop, because otherwise I will never, ever learn it. And that was the story of how I got started with Photoshop. I forced myself to use it, even though I didn't really like it a ton, at least not at the time, and eventually got to use it, and I got to use it okay. And by the time that I got to college and got some formal training on it, I was not bad at it. I'm not going to say I was the best, because I mean, you know, now I would just blow myself away in terms of what I can do with Photoshop on my own with it, you know. And there's just, yeah, there's no way under the sun. No way I could be as good as back then as I am now. But I mean, that was, shoot, 20 years ago, 20 years ago, which makes me feel old. I'll go ahead and own that. But at the same time, I mean, dang it, I'm good at this now. I can make a career out of it. I teach it. I enjoy it. It's a passion I can share with other people, and that just feels good. So, no complaints there. Alright. So what we're doing here is we're just kind of laying this down, going from there. But anyway, actually, I should probably back up. So the point of that story is that my first images that I was working with as a kid, they were all 100% pixels. There was no, you know, vector art. There was no, you know, pulling out. Like, it was all like really close in, no holds bar, just pixels. So it was just like this. So, you know, I'd be drawing from the top. Here's how I make a circle. Now, there was a circle maker, but I didn't really understand how they worked. So, like, if I needed to have two circles kind of blend together, I had to actually figure out how to make that happen manually. So I had to understand how the circles work. So for me, when I'm going into Minecraft now, it's pretty intuitive on how to build a circle. Something that looks good, works good, meets my requirements. It's just kind of, it's part of me now. And that's kind of what I tell my students when we're in class, is you need to make what you're doing a part of who you are. You have to know your tools like you know the back of your own hand. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to be productive. You have to be comfortable enough, because a lot of people look at art and development as, you know, something where there's like an easy button. You just kind of do it and it's like magic. And, you know, if you watch, let's take like a speed sculpt in, I don't know, ZBrush, Blender, whatever your sculpting program that you like dealing with is, or you enjoy working with or looking at, you know, depending on whether you're not going to afford it, I guess. Truth is, it's so much easier to watch someone do a speed sculpt than it is to actually do the speed sculpt. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One, a speed sculpt is usually a time lapse, and time lapses don't take nearly as long as they do in real life. You know, I've time lapsed my own work before, and I look at it, I'm like, wow, I'm amazing at this, and I'm not. You know, if I watch what's happening and if I go through in my own head, I'm like making tons of decisions and hemming and hawing, and only when you speed up the footage do you really sit down and appreciate how good you actually look. And you don't feel that way. You do not feel great about your work when you're the one doing the work, when you're the one doing the recording. You actually feel like crap. You're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Why am I even putting this up on the internet? You know, it's kind of the same thing behind the Minecraft videos I'm putting up. I don't know if anyone's listening. I don't know if anyone's watching. I'm putting them up there just because, right? I'm putting them up there because it's just part of my commitment to, you know, in this case, hearing what my voice sounds like, making sure that I'm speaking well. If I want to, I could maybe start doing online classes of my own, or if I needed to, you know, do a video for a student, I've got a pipeline ready. I'm comfortable doing it. This is just professional development for me. So don't look at speed sculpt and like people working online or anything like that as the pinnacle of, you know, what you can be, and if you're not that, you're not good, or just thinking that it's easy and it comes naturally. It really does not come naturally at all. You have to work and fight for this. A lot of times I have students who will just kind of look at me and go, oh, I'm so bad at this. You know, I come up, you know, to the side of them and just want to take a look at their work, and they just go, I'm so bad at this. And I'm like, why? Why would you say that? That's not helpful. That doesn't help you. That doesn't help you feel good about yourself. You know, on the one hand, I'm kind of like, well, I know you're bad at this. You're just learning this. This is new. And if you are good at this, it means that you've been doing this for years and years and years, and you're probably really self-critical, which, don't get me wrong, it's not bad to be self-critical, but you can go overboard with it. So we have some people who just go, I'm terrible at this. Like, it's going to stop me from saying something like, hey, maybe you should fix X, Y, or Z. But the truth is, that kind of short-circuits the learning process. If you sit there and just go, I'm bad at this, so, you know, just know that I'm bad. Well, I know you're bad. I was bad. I still consider myself bad. You try and be good. You know, don't wear being bad on your shoulder, right? Don't wear it on your sleeve where people can see it. You hide that. You get better. You don't stop until you get better, because until you get better, you will be bad, and nobody wants to be bad. You know, and that goes for programming, art, whether you're working in ZBrush or Maya or whatever. Don't embrace in your head the idea that you're bad at something. It's just going to make you look bad, feel bad, and I don't like it. You know, it bugs me terribly when students just try and hide behind the fact that they're new. We know you're new. You came to our school so that you would get better. Feel free to get better. Like don't spend all of your energy worrying. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, you know, coming from an instructor type person. Don't spend your time and energy worrying about looking bad in front of me. Look at your work. Look at your skill set. You know, so in your first 5 mouse clicks, or your first 5, you know, strokes of your brush, or whatever you're working with, you know, it didn't look exactly like you want. It never does. That's the difference between a professional artist and an amateur artist. Is the amateur artist thinks that, oh gosh, I didn't do this perfect the right time. You never do. You never do. You learned very quickly that your work develops. And what do I mean by that? Well, generally you work in broad strokes, right, to small strokes. So you paint with a very broad brush. So like take take the mill, right? When I started, I was just using stone brick and one kind of wood, like spruce wood. Well, I went in and I actually changed the floor so that eventually it looked better. I was working on the bones, just getting the structure up, and then I start worrying about the details. Even now, as I go through this, I'm still going to be focused on, getting more and more detailed with it. So this is how you work professionally. You get the details. You get it to grow and develop by degrees. You cannot sit there and compare yourself to other people like that. It doesn't work, especially instructors, and especially that, that one person who's like really good in class, like instantly good at everything. Okay, yeah, they're not actually instantly good at anything. They've worked their whole lives for that. They're just a little farther on that path than you are. By the time anyone graduates from an art school, they're still not ready. I swear to you, they are still not ready for the professional field, especially in game development. Game development is hard. It's a sensitive process. It takes you a long time to develop your skills to the point where you can get the kind of job you envision yourself having. Don't hold yourself up to that. I have so many students who just quit because they're just like, I just can't do this. Well, sure you can. You come from the same basic stock as everybody else, right? I'm not saying that you're not a unique snowflake, but you're not a unique snowflake. You come from the same human model, and you're capable of the exact same thing that anybody else is. So you can tackle modeling, you can tackle sculpting. You just haven't learned enough. And when I say learning, I'm talking about the kind of learning you cannot do in a classroom. This is the type of learning that comes from experimentation. This comes from trial and error. It comes from looking at art. You cannot bypass observation. Looking at artwork, analyzing artwork, copying artwork, having 100 drawings, 1,000 drawings, 10,000 drawings that are just not what you want. They don't work out right. You don't feel great about them, but you keep on going. You don't give up. There is no skill in this world that you can just automatically pick up like a natural. I am not a believer in talent. I'm a believer in inclination. Some people are inclined to keep going along certain avenues than others. Now, that's a whole different story. If you are not inclined towards design or interactivity or 3D or anything, right, go do something else. If it doesn't make you happy when you are successful, stop, right? I am not going to be offended if you just say, you know what, I don't like this. It doesn't make me happy. When I'm successful, I don't go, yay, this is great, I feel good. Let's do it again. If you don't love this, you should not do it. It is bad for you to continue. And that's, kind of my big thing these days is understanding that if you succeed in any small way, right? Let's say you're working on a model and you get it to finally look like a bucket, right? You're just trying to model a bucket, and that's the best you can do. Keep going, and keep going even at that simple level until it looks like you want it to. When it looks like you want it to, stop what you're doing and ask yourself, did that make me happy? If the answer is yes, do it again. Do it again. Make the same bucket. Make it better this time. practice, right? We all look at art. We all look at, our favorite 3D games, and we think, oh man, that looks. Oops. Yeah, look at that. I screwed up. I like it shorter. We look at it and we go, I screwed up. I can't do this. I'm bad at this. And instead of trying and trying again, we just quit. That's not good. So what I encourage people to do is really, really examine, did I finish, right? Your first thing you should always ask yourself is, did you finish? Because if you didn't finish it, you cannot accurately tell if you liked it or not. There's just no way. So if you didn't finish it, finish it. Go out and finish it. I have students who have crises of confidence all the time. They don't finish their work, and they just get discouraged, and they fail. They fail. They stop working. They stop trying, and they don't continue their education or anything, which I think is patently unacceptable. I always tell them, finish, get it working. Do you feel good? Does it make you feel happy to get it done? If it makes you feel happy, do it again. Do it better. Because just like any skill, the more you do it, the more you continue to grow, the happier you are. And that's why I have the grading policies and things that I do in class, because it's designed to make people happy if they try. So that's kind of my rant for today. Thanks for joining me. This has been RGBs. We're here on our little island, and hope you'll forgive my little rant about effort and trying. I just see so many people give up, and you get started on something, and you never know where it's going to go. So if you agree with what I'm saying, leave a like. If you want to hear some, more about this type of thing, if you just enjoy watching this, please subscribe. Leave a comment if you had any thoughts that occurred to you while I was talking. Otherwise, have a great one, and we will see you later.